see, let's get this thing focused. Maybe I'll move this over just a little bit. I have to make sure I don't block the so you guys can see the sculpt a little better. Okay, let's do the sharing now on Facebook and all that fun stuff. Yeah, I don't really need to mess with that. Okay, let's do this. See, let's get this thing focused. Go. Pressure. I'm here. I'm just trying to set up everything. Why does this picture look so crappy? There we go. Looks a little better now. Okay, so let's see. What else did I want to do? Oh, I want to share this link to Facebook. Go. I had to shut the sound off. Sorry, guys. Let me copy that. Copy Facebook. Paste. Post. I'll share it one more time too. Okay. Notice the big difference in the lips. Let me see if I can get a better. No, that's about right. Wow, 3 people on already? Holy mackerel. Wow, that's including me because I have my computer I'm monitoring. So, all right, so let's see. What are we doing? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to work it on the bottom of the chin and we're going to finish off the ears. But we are pretty much finished the sculpture. I retooled it back to the 78 because it just looked too good. Sorry, I had to move the camera. The mouth looked too spot on to not remold this. I had to, just absolutely had to. So, with that being said, let me get in my chair and try not to put my fat bod in the way of the camera. All right. Now explain everything that I've done to it so far, so you guys can get. Come on, man. There we go. There we go. I need my glasses. It's so damn hot, man. I can't stand it. Okay. Now right here, what you see is the actual, let me see, is that blocking that? Yeah, that's blocking that. Let me see it better. Man, why does that picture look so crappy? What's the picture look like for you guys? Does it look real, does it look all fuzzy and stuff? Blurry? Is the picture quality blurry to you? Or is it just on my end? Might have to reset this. But as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm trying to match these lips. Alright, I've changed the sculpture because I found that the tops of the lips were way too high. I'm not looking to do this copy. Alright, see how big these lips look? I don't like that look. I just don't. I don't like those big lips. I like the actual Shatner mask. Now this is an actual photo of the 1975. I think it was 75, might have been 74 release of the Captain Kirk and Spock mask from Don Post. That is Gene Roddenberry advertising these masks from Don Post. And that tells me that that is the actual mask. And the thing is, I have personal experience. And if you look, let me see if I can angle this. If you look, the narrowness, see how this really works into here. Let me see. Let's do it that way so you have a little bit more of an angle, just like that picture. Look at it good, because it's pretty spot on. All right, now let me try and put this back up here so I can look at it when I'm sculpting. Well, I'm not really doing too much to the lips anymore. The lips are done. But I'm working on this chin area down underneath the ear. This kind of, because I had to cut this chin back. All right, let me retrace my steps. Let me read what you said first. Yes, that's the actual mask. That's one of the best pictures I could find of what I remember when I worked at a place. I really wasn't working there because I was still underage, but I would help out and they would slide me a few bucks here and there. You know what I mean? So I worked at a place called the Fun Shop. I was only 13 years old. I'm 60 now. And it was the summer of 75, and I would go in there and, just help out as much as I could. You know, it was on the sly. You had to be 14 to get your working papers to work on the boardwalk. But, knowing a few people, I got in, do a couple things, and made like a little extra money here and there. So, basically, what we did was, the place was called the Fun Shop, and it was a place on the boardwalk, on the Wildwood Boardwalk, that sold mainly gags and what do you call it? Magic tricks and gags. But he also sold strictly, at the time it was the only person that was making latex masks, was Don Post. I don't think there was another company in there. It was only Don Post. And I remember the masks that were in there. You had a vampire, you had the creature from the Black Lagoon, you had Frankenstein, you had all the main characters. There was an old man mask in there, which that's a story in itself. I can tell you, it was fun. I bought one of those. They had the Star Trek Spock and Captain Kirk, and they used to have dozens of those on hand. You can grab one off the shelf, and it was only like a $3 mask. You know, on the boardwalk, it was a little more expensive than you would say in the middle of nowhere. You know, you could probably get for the mask for like $1.50 to $2. But in the Holly or on the boardwalk, it was a little more expensive. So anyway, I think the mask was like $3 to $4 at the most. $5. but there was dozens of these, and I I just remember the lips not being real fat like it is in this picture here. And my theory to this is simply this: this mask was in production and has been molded God knows how many times. And when I say when this was in production, this was mass produced. This mask, it was mass produced to sell throughout the country. So it was interesting. I think over those, when they remolded this mask over and over and over again like that, it deformed the original sculpture. It deformed this version of the mask. Got, just from being over, remolded several thousand times, and because it was mass produced, you do lose quality in your original sculpture and in your original mask. So that's my theory on why the mask looks so different in that picture right here compared to the original mask. I think that and it's not just that. It was also depending on who wore the mask. It's Dick Warlock versus Nick Castle. They had two different size heads, two different, and the mask was a thin casted and it was a kid's mask. It wasn't an adult mask. So it really did change the way the mask looked depending on who wore it. So with that being said, I decided that I want to go with the mouth that I think that Christopher Nelson sculpted this version of his mouth, of this mask, was based off of the Shatner look, not the. It wasn't based off this look. It was based off of the original Shatner mask. This is the one Nick Molpagano right here. This is the one that Nick Molpagano replicated and called it the 13 mask. And I like that mask too, don't get me wrong. I love this mask as well. But I trying to stick to the original feel of the Michael Myers thing. So I went with this look on the mouth. I wanted this and the reason why I can't go off of just this picture here is because I get both sides. I have a lot of detailed pictures of this mask in light. I mean, it's really cool. I got it off the DVD collector's edition or whatever it was, and they really showed you in full circle with all different lighting hitting it, the entire sculpture, or not sculpture, but mask. So it really gives you an idea of the shapes and everything. So it turned out really, that's what I went with. So with that being said, not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, I discovered the secret on how to make the jaw work. And I couldn't believe it. I was kind of like blown away with what I discovered. And it was just while we were on camera, I'm going, wait a minute. And it sounds crazy, but it totally makes sense to me now. All right, let's do this. Let's show it to you dead on. Let's change this so you're looking at the sculpture straight on. Let me turn it just a little bit more. There we go. Okay. All right, now there's a little delay on my camera. Now wait a minute. Tell me this, Crusher, is the camera blurry? Does it look like it's blurry to you, or is it nice and clear? Otherwise, I'm going to refresh the page. I don't want to get up if I don't have to. As long as the picture quality is really nice with on your end, I don't want to mess with mine because I don't care what it looks like on my camera. Oh, okay, cool. All right, great. Um, that's the main thing. Hey, hey, what's up? Marcus Collection. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, it's sometimes I'm a little bit further away from my computer and it's tough for me to see the text. I have to really look carefully. Got to flip up the bifocals to see your text. So, now let's get back to what I did and what I discovered the day before yesterday. The secret, I think, is a secret. Well, it's not really a secret, but it's just something I kind of found along the way here. The secret to getting the jawline right, all right, is the lines. You see that line there? That line has to follow this line, or should I say, these lines right here, they have to follow suit. They have to be in the same pitch, same angle, all right? And what that does is, since you're already out far here on the lip, all right, you're already out past the chin and the lower lip on this top lip, all right? And it comes out a little bit of a pitch. I want to say a little bit of it, well, let's just do a profile. All right, you see how the lip is out far here, and then it's kind of almost dead even with the lower lip, and then there's a little dip, and then there's the chin. Well, the reason why I'm bulking this out is because this looked too flat, so I have to round out the bottom just a little bit more, right in here, to give it that nice look. But these angles, by having them at the right angle, like I do now, forces you to carve this back, and it gives it the proper look, you know. And I was like, oh my god, man, I can't believe I missed that. Where I kept making my mistake is right where these corners of the mouth here, that was more straight up and down this way, and now the angle is like this, following this line. No, it's not exact perfect, but it's close. And that's actually what it looks like on the mask too when I did that. Those lines matter. So that naturally pulled this chin back down, and it gave it the right pitch. Just by moving these corners in like this, really fixed the problem that I was having. It was driving me crazy. So the other changes I made were the eyebrows yesterday. Yesterday we changed the eyebrows just a little bit. I brought the eyebrow, let me face the camera again. All right. I brought the eyebrow down a little bit into the scale towards the bridge of the nose, all right? And I fixed this little tail off. It was just a little, it felt like it was just a little bit too jagged and peaked too high. I also lowered this part of this eyebrow, and I didn't raise anything here, but by lowering that, see, if you look at the original mask, now this is where I did use this picture. If you look at this mask, all right, you see how this eyebrow is lower than this eyebrow where it comes in at the nose, all right? This is lower and this is higher. And it's these little fine details that really make a difference. Now, I can still see, and I don't want to have to mess with this too much more, because if I do, I can really ruin the whole sculpture. So, or it would just take a lot of extra work trying to fix this situation where I'm not really gaining a lot of accuracy by making anything different here. What I mean is putting a little bit more of an arch on this eyebrow right in here. Mine's a little bit flatter, yes, I can see it, but you know what? It really doesn't change the look of the mask too much. It looks really good. The eyebrows are really spot on now. And just making that little adjustment there just really helped yesterday. Okay, so we changed the eyebrows. First of all, I re-smoothed the entire mask. I took out all the cracks and everything because I was going towards the 2018, and it just, I when I fixed this jawline and those lips looked that good, I thought, oh my God, I got to make another 78. I got to do it again. That's all there is to it. I have to get this right. When I get this to where I really am going to be happy with it, which I'm really there now, I'm really close. Actually, you know, once I get this smoothed out and everything, I have no need to go back and do this again. I really don't. I think I've got this sculpture nailed now to the point where I'll be moving crumbs of clay versus changing real features. So why go through all that? I'm not going to go through all that. Every mask maker that has attempted this mask has made their version of the mask, and every one of them, and even nags, have variations, have slight variations to their sculptures. And trying to make this mask exactly like the original, it'll never happen because of one specific reason, and that's because all we have is camera angles. We don't actually have a mask to look at. We don't actually have this mask in existence to look at, or the actual Captain Kirk mask. You know, we don't have it. It doesn't exist. So I think there's one, and Sean Clark is the one that actually owns it. And I think, I just saw an interview with Christopher Nelson stating that stating that he had a copy of a Shatner, you know, the Shatner mask that he used as reference as well. And to me, that's very fascinating because that tells me that, you know, there was just, you know, and he had a fleet of artists. They only had weeks to do this mask for the Halloween Flashback Mask. They only had several weeks, but he had a fleet of artists looking at it. He had all eyes on it. He was looking at every detail, and they all looked at it. And that's when Christopher started to sculpt and really had a lot more artist eyes on the original, you know, between the pictures and the, you know, and he pointed out some interesting things that I kind of already knew, but there was a couple things that I found that was really fascinating with that was I saw a Sean Clark interview with Nick Castle showing off Nick Castle's Halloween Kills mask. And I was more interested in that video for the hair. And now I know the secret to the hair too, by the way. I know what the hair is now. Hey, all right, finally. The secret has been revealed on what type of hair they're using. And you'll have to go look at that video to find out the secret yourself. But it's pretty cool. What I noticed in that interview, he talked about how the mask looks on different people and how they had to film the mask. When they shot that mask, they were very precise about camera angles, who was wearing the mask. And why I say that is when they put the mask on, you know, Nick Castle versus, the other actor, come on, I can never remember these guys' names for some reason. I'm thinking, George, it's at the tip of my tongue. Anyway, They have two different size heads. They're two different size men. It just looks different on each one of each one of the actors, just like it did with Nick Castle versus Dick Warlock. It changed the features of the mask. Well, in one of Sean Clark's videos, there's where Nick Castle's showing off his kills mask. You look up inside the mask. There's all kinds of there's padding inside. There's these black foam pads inside the mask. And I started thinking, I said, oh, well, that makes sense now. Those pads, and they were in odd spots, too. So I thought, why is a pad, let me see, what was it? Where was it at? It was on this side. Yeah, it was somewhere right in here. It was an odd place for the pad to be. It might have been this side. I can't remember which side it was. Yeah, it was this side. And I saw the padding inside of there, and then it dawned on me. That's why they used the padding. The padding was to make sure the mask looked the same way on Nick Castle as it did on Jordan Courtney. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So they made sure that the mask looked identical on both actors, so they didn't have that same issue with Nick Castle versus Dick Warlock. So this way, I think they really made the mask look identical, and they're never going to have the problem of like, well, it depends on who wears the mask on what it looks like. Well, it does make that difference. There's a huge difference when you don't have. Why does that look weird? I don't know what the heck's going on here. Hold on. All right. Just smoothing out the inside. So I always work in, like, whenever I see something, I just tackle it right there on the spot. I don't wait around for the next. I try to tackle things as I see them. Yeah, that looks a little better. Yeah. Okay. All right, so now I'm working on the chin area, and that is going to require me to, I think, let me see if I, yeah, that's, see, sometimes the lighting doesn't help you in this situation. Hold on, you'll have to hold on a second, guys. I can't read your comment with my glasses off. I've managed to I put the clay on it, so I have the shape where I want it, the chin. I have the chin, I have the bulk of the chin. I have the bulk of the chin done. I just have to smooth it out. Come on. The problem with this is I can't, gotta clean the blade off or you end up putting stuff back onto the face. Hold on, I'll read your comments in a second here. Let me just try and get this. Right now, I'm not really smoothing out. I'm taking away a little bit. I'm bringing this chin more rounded this way. I don't want it coming flat and then going under. I need it to be a little more round. Not much. Okay, so let me, oh man, these notifications are driving me crazy. Problem is the notifications drop down and they block the over here and fix that. Oh, okay. All right, never mind. It was the notifications that dropped down that made me think that you guys wrote something. Okay, so let's get to it. I got to do the ears. I got to fix this got chopped up a little bit on the sides, but I want to fix these little issues with the chin. Right now I'm just trying to blend that clay back. Where did the clay ball go? Turn it this way. Oh yeah. That's the problem when you get into these real fine details. You got to be concentrating. Oh, what's that there? I can't see it. All the pumpkins. What's up, Halloween Goblin? Cane for life. I've been trying to find hair for my Myers mask and haven't had much luck. And suggestions. Yes, you want to go to the Woolery. Woolery.com. All right. And I'm going to reveal the secret that's on the interview, by the way. On the interview with Christopher Nelson, that was, I think, just released yesterday, he reveals what hair they used on the mask. And it was a combination of mohair and crepe hair. It was the two blends. And that's what they used for the Halloween Kills mask and the Flashback Mask. So you have to learn how to blend the hair, and that's tricky. Believe me, I got a blending board back here. It's not easy. It takes time, and I'm still working on perfecting that. But yeah, that's the two blends, and a friend of mine has a mask that's actually very, very well. One of the overhaulers that does the Halloween Kills masks, he's one of the best. Well, he is the best in the business. He basically has a mask that he's going to bring over to me and show me the actual hair. But now that I know what the hair is, I'll be able to look at that hair and be able to know exactly how much ratio, and in where. Like, you got to remember, on the hair, like in the top where it's all matted, my guess is there's going to be more crepe hair up here, and where it's dangling on the back of the neck, well, not on the burnt side, but on the back of the neck, it's going to be more mohair. I just got to figure out that ratio and make that blend myself. But yeah, that's what I've been kind of doing. Doing a lot of research, man. It really pays off in dividend. Really research. Get on that YouTube, watch a lot of videos, try to find out all the people, even collectors, because collectors can be very knowledgeable, and not just knowledgeable Sometimes they got a keen eye. I mean, there's this guy that I'm pipe master that comes on here every once in a while. Um, he works during the day, so it's tough for him. He's a plumber, so he's working hard. So, but whenever he comes on, every time I listen to him, his he really has a good eye because he has pointed out things that I was overlooking. And I went, my God, why don't you try and sculpt one of these things, man? He should try it himself because he has that good of an eye for the details that are in that mask. So, and 99.9% of the time, he's right with what he's saying and what he sees. So, it's awesome. I try to really take constructive criticism really good because you can't, this is tough. And I've only been doing this for 2 years, so, and I'm learning. I didn't know all the little things that were involved with this. And what the hell is that? That's gonna mess me up. There's a piece of rock or a little stone or pebble or something right in there. Was that it? Nope. Was that it? Yep. But now it's got my, well, that's alright. I have to do something here anyway. I need to protrude that lip a little bit. See, I cut back on this lip even further on this side because it just didn't, the pitch wasn't right. The pitch didn't look as good as it should. So when I cut that back, I knocked out a little bit of the underneath of the part. What I'm doing right here will make sense in a minute. Okay, so we gotta fix that. Alright, there's just little things that I notice and I keep jumping around. I jump around whenever I sculpt. I really do. I don't stay in one spot. Now, I'm barely touching this. I'm not really raking hard on that. I'm just like literally just a very sharp blade here on this particular tool. That's why I like using this big loop tool. It's got a really nice sharp edge. Hold on. I'll read your comments. It's tough because every time I have to put the glasses back on to read your comments. Come on, man, put it on there. Dark brown, 7 ounces. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see. What do we got going on here? You guys are getting ahead of me. I'll tell you what. Whenever you guys are talking to each other, put the @ symbol in front of whoever you're talking to. Like if you're talking to @Kane or Kane for Life 75, when you're talking to each other, just so I know that it's not me or trying to talk, so I don't have to constantly read. Always put the @ symbol in front of whoever you're talking to. Like if you're saying you want a question towards the Halloween Goblin. Yeah, it's my eyesight sucks. The Halloween Goblin. Put @ the Halloween Goblin, and it'll show up. It'll show up in a different color for me, so I know that that is meant for somebody else. Um, okay, Kane, hang on. I've seen some eBay from a guy I just bought 15 ounces from. Dark brown, 7 ounces. Yeah, you guys are talking to each other. Okay. I'm doing really good, buddy. I've been doing real good. I've been just working hard at trying to really replicate this sculpture. Um, I've been doing pretty good. Just busy, 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 trying to get this done. I know I'm taking my glasses back off, so I'll read in a few more minutes. I just got to keep going with this. I want to get this nice. I'm gonna work one side then the other. Now I got to see the profile. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, so I keep retooling this thing because I keep discovering new things, and it's just the nature of this business. All right, there's a bad spot right there. So you have to look at this at all different angles to really see where you need to fill in the spots. There's a spot right here that doesn't look uniform to the chin. And I'm only putting little tiny pieces of clay on there. I'm not putting a bunch of clay on there because I'm taking most of it off anyway. I'm just filling any kind of little potholes, so to speak, that I come across. Just trying to really get it round and nice and smooth. And when you start getting real close, you're barely taking any clay off. You're just a hair, just a hair. Just a hair. All right, now what I'm doing now is I'm kind of just seeing where I have to take more off right at the bottom of this chin, right here. I just want to sneak that a little bit more round. Um, it also helps tuck the chin down a little bit, makes it look like it's tucked a little more. It's hard to explain. I mean, if you're sculpting a lot, you learn the little tricks. And sometimes it is a lot better that if you have a lot of eyes on it. And an artist knows when somebody has an eye and when somebody doesn't. Um, so I would never bash anybody because they may not be correct about what they're doing. That's not my point. I want the opinion because you just never know. You just never know, man. They could be really helping you a lot. So listen to your people that are watching. Most of the people that are actually watching here are big time Michael Myers enthusiast even more than myself. Even though I'm doing this mask, it doesn't make me the biggest fan in the world. It just makes me a God-given gift to be able to do this. And I have a passion for Michael Myers. Yes, I do like Michael Myers a lot, but I know some people, man, they get really defensive and, just on every little thing, and it's just, I'm not one of those guys. I won't argue about anything like that because, you know what? I don't really know. I wasn't on the movie set. I don't know what they did or how they did it. Half those guys don't remember what they did. I think the original Halloween, a lot of it was all accidental. So to really get into arguments over, things with that mask or that movie, or it's kind of silly if you think about it, because we're never on the set, so we don't really know what went on. So I see a lot of that on that Michael-Myers .net website, where people are, most 90% of the time they're good to each other, but every once in a while there's always that one guy that comes on there and likes to stir a pot, so to speak. Yeah, baby, I got this baby nice. Now I know the underneath part where I added that clay still has some smoothing to do, but I have to tilt the head up to do that. What I'm doing right now is making sure that this is nice and round and uniform. The things are identical on both sides. But you always have to take your eye away from this area where this pitch is different on each side. All right, you got to take your eyes away from that, because you notice how like this drops down a little lower. The chin crevice here, it's a little higher on this side and a little lower on that side. Always keep that in mind when you're trying to work this area. You got to just try to take your eye off of that and just look at this edge. That's all you're doing, is making sure that looks right. If you start looking at this, it'll make you want to carve away more on this side naturally, or vice versa. This side, actually, I'm sorry, not this side, but this side will make you want to carve more away. And it's funny, the more I sculpt, the more I realize you can tell when a sculptor is right-handed or left-handed by the way he sculpts. Because I know what I do wrong, and I know what it's very uncomfortable working from the left. When I work on this side of the face, it's so uncomfortable. I have to really position myself just right to get the look that I'm after. And when you look at somebody's sculpt, you can always see their weak side. You can always see it. It always stands out. Their strong side is the right. For me, it's the right side and the left side. But when I look at my sculpture, I really did a damn good job on this side as well as that side. So it's just, you just got to fight harder. That's all. It's just a little harder to work on this side than it is on that side for me. I'm almost at the maximum where I want to take off anything on that side. Underneath, I'll feel little grab spots where I can see the clay is probably sticking out a little bit. So I'm barely, you see, watch the tool in my hand, all right? You see how I'm letting the chin move the tool? I'm barely touching that, all right? And all that's doing is getting rid of the scrapes, the high scrape marks, all right? But I'm letting the tool do the work, not my hand. I'm barely putting any pressure on that. You see how I'm just guiding it, but you can see that tool moving in my hand. I mean, can you see? Oh, you can't really see it from that angle. Let me try to. See the tool moving? It's because I'm not putting any force on this, and whenever I come up against it, it's pushing the tool upward like that. I leave it nice and loose on my hand, and that's how you smooth. That's the proper way to smooth. Now I'm feeling a little catch here. I have to put a little more pressure because there's a chunk of clay. There it goes. It's coming out. And always clean your tool. Always kind of keep a clay ball in your hand, and I always keep it nice and warm because I use monster clay hard. I don't use soft. And wherever those rough spots are, you just got to keep working it until you don't feel anything rough under there anymore. Now I can lift up on this and really get a better view on what I'm doing, and I should be doing that. But I can tell by feel without even seeing it. Alright. Let's tilt it up just to make sure we're not screwing this thing up. Oh no, it looks good. See that, guys? See the chin's nice and rounded? I see a spot right here. Yeah, I gotta fill that little spot. Let me get a piece of clay in my hand first. How about that big? That might be a little too big. Don't want that crap in my mouth, that's for sure. Okay, now. So that's the thing with smoothing out, is you're constantly, you're filling little voids as you're smoothing it out. You're shaping it in such a way. Now see, this is a little flatter over here. I need to bulk this out right in this area, right there. See how it's nice and round here? That's what I'm looking for on both sides. And I can see this side's just a little flatter, so before I go get comfortable again, another piece of clay. Clay's nice and warm. I can put it down for a few minutes, but if I leave it down too long, it's going to get hard again. And we don't want that. All right, so right in here is where this is needed. A little more. A little more there. Not much. That's too much. I always try to make little marbles, like little round marbles, and then you smash them in to shape it, because that's it. This is going to be the final piece here. If you make long noodles and stuff, it just distorts everything too much. Whatever you do, when you're trying to really rub hard on the sculpture, don't push with your other hand. Like, in other words, put your hand here and then rub air. All of a sudden, you're going to dent that and not really notice it. So I always try to smooth out without touching the face at all. with your other hand, because that's usually the lethal. Now I'm putting my whole hand on this side, so I know I'm not pushing. Let me just feel. There's a little dimple right here, but not enough to. I'm concentrating, guys. Anytime I get quiet like that, it means I'm kind of really concentrating on what I'm doing here. I'll lose my train of thought, or. I actually think the hardest thing to do is the mouth region and the chin area. And what's really hard is making sure everything is rounded and, shaped right. That's your hard part. It's not so much your details. I find they're easier. Like, the noses are tough. They can be tough. Ears are easy for me, and it's because there's no perfection needed in an ear. An ear is a generalized shape, and they're pretty easy to do. But I think when you start getting into like where things start getting smoother, and more about the exact pitch of how things are supposed to be, that can get tough. It's perspective. It's how you. It's the best way. If you were painting and you were trying to draw a picture and get the perspective right, well, it's all about the angles. All about the angles. That's what gives you true perspective. It's no different when you're sculpting. The perspective all relies on the angles that are in the face. Let me see. So what kind of new posts we got? New comments here. Hold on. Glasses on. Okay, eBay dark brown, 7 ounces. Kind of curious. What are you guys talking about? The 7 ounces dark brown. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay, all right. I guess I'm not seeing. Maybe I'm not seeing the other guy's post. Anyway, yeah, it's coming along. I think I'm getting really close as far as. Just trying to smooth out some of these. I can feel these little divots underneath it here. I hate like how I have to put clay up underneath there because it just creates more divots. But there's a couple spots that just can't be ignored. spot right there. Only taking like literally real tiny pieces. There it is. I'm going to push on here. Although this is hard clay, it really would take a lot of force to change the shape of the chin by me pushing on. Straighten out one area and damage somewhere else. Done it before, trust me. Little spot right here, didn't see that. Guess that was hiding. Done that before too. Slip off the sculpture pushing on something and smack the eye or smack something that was a little fragile, like right on the edge here. You bang that, man, you'll leave a nice mark, no matter how hard the clay is. Done that before. Hand slip, boom, bang, what the heck, oh, Jesus. And then you spend another hour fixing that. Oh yeah, there's some frustrations that happen along the way, but not that big of a deal. You know. Oh man. This is a really tiny piece that has to go in here. This one's so small I can kind of just smash it in there. You always want to rub in every direction, this way you can feel where your issues are. I think now it's time for me to use the tool again. When I lift it up, I really want to lean it back far. Blending the back section of the chin underneath, where it comes back into the original line of the chin, because then I can put it down a second. Get my magic ball. My large booger of clay. It's my tool cleaner right here. And my axe, whenever I need a little piece here or there, you pull from that because it's nice and warm and soft in your hand. And Yeah, that's all I need. Knock that fall, let that fall over. Woo! What a mess would I have then? I'd be out here for another day or two, freaking fixing that mess. Okay, right in here. Need to scoop. Blend that into the face. Man, there's been a lot of cops flying all over the place. Like all summer, it's been really bad. Here they go. Go get them. This road's been like a highway for cop cars this year. I don't think I've ever heard as many as I did this year in past years. A lot of crap going on. An interesting thing happened a couple nights ago. I really don't know what it was, but it seemed like somebody was driving down the road and I heard, and I know it was gunshots. I know the difference between gunshots and firecrackers, trust me. I heard pow, 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 pow. And then they went another 2 or 3, just a little bit further down the road, and then you heard pow, 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 pow again. And I was like, oh my God. And the first thing you're thinking is somebody's firing guns into people's houses. That's the first thought that went to my mind. I'm like, Jesus, that's all we need. Some sicko doing something like that. I'm like, what is this country coming to? It's crazy. I live in a pretty nice residential area, so it's not a lot of high crime or anything like that. But it's, things change. People get weirder. What can you do? Thank God I don't have to do another 60 years on this planet. I got 20 maybe, And there's a big gap right there. Man, oh man, what the hell did I miss that? Not that big of a gap. Really want this guy done. I really do. I want to move on to some cooler things. I want to get aging this guy and get it to where it's. Oh my God, there was a big spot right there. Gotta be careful. There it is. Almost on the chin, guys. Little spot right there I gotta fix. Tiny little spot. Little crumb of clay right there. Okay, let's start doing this again. I'll use a different tool this time. A little smaller. depth on this to fix this chin permanently. See what happened there? Just not cleaning the tool really can kick your butt. You end up putting clay back onto the sculpture. All right, let's see what are we talking about here, guys? The crusher, I just did one for Dick Warlock. I'll when I get done here, I'll go in and grab that Dick Warlock mask. I'm making an H2. I'm going to meet Dick Warlock on, when the hell are we doing that? Oh, the 13th, Saturday the 13th. And I'm taking him one of my masks. And I made an H2 for him, and I used pure, I just haired it, and I have another one haired right behind me. But I made, I put baby mohair on his hair. Man, it's really pretty. It looks nice. His mask looks great. He's gonna love that mask. So yes, I did that. And yeah, there's an H2 that's going with me. I'm gonna wait until I have this completed, and this is what I'll be making my masks from now on. This is the final sculpture right here. This is the final retool. I've said that before, I know. But the changes that would need to be made now on this sculpture for me to go ahead and they're so small that it's just not worth it to go into this again. I've made all the significant changes I need to make to this mask, to the sculpture. I mean, and why I say that is because the chin has been the thing that's been eating at me for a long time. The chin and nose and mouth area. That's been the hard spot. That's been my weakness. That's been my kryptonite that kicks my butt every time. So now that I've got that fixed and I have this the way it really, this looks, I mean, really good. And, if you're here in person, you can see, it's right on the money as far as how it looks. Now I have to create a little bit more of a divot in here. Not much, but just a little bit more so you can see it. Just a little bit. Right in here. So it's more natural looking. Let me feel this. Why? So you got to be careful, because every once in a while you'll come across a piece of stone or something. Because you got to remember, I've molded this several times in stone. So every once in a while there's a little tiny crumb speck of stone that's in the clay. And when you rake across that, it'll literally drag and scratch your surface really bad. Damn it. Just when I thought I had it all done, there's one little spot here. I don't know if I did that with a tool though. Little tiny spot right there. Frustrating. That's done. stuck that in my mouth, dummy. So used to. Need to really look around this thing. Glass is falling down on my face all the time. Just making sure that this blends back into the face. Yeah, that's all done nice there. Feeling for any kind of clay edge. All right, now's the time, and let me just feel it one more time just to make sure I got it where I want it. This feels like it's a little bit too squared off right in here. All right, now I see. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that actually fixed the. Don't fall, Jesus. I figured might as well get this chin line perfect. Well, I had to. I had no choice because once I started cutting back to get this shape right, and that's basically what it is. It's this. It's like a shape that pulls that chin back just right. If you don't get that angle right, man, it just doesn't look right. Won't look right. Now I'm just getting a little bit of the rake marks off of here. I can see some. A little bit of imperfections. What's up, Steve, UK? Yeah, I do that. I do, Steve. But most times, like I don't take the clay off the armature ever. It's a waste of time. Um, I just make sure that the surface is real clean. I make sure when I demold my sculpture, it's in two halves, the master copies, and I use a hard monster clay, and I see people taking the clay completely off the head, and it's kind of like, why? Monster clay doesn't go bad. It doesn't get dry. It doesn't do anything. It's a wax based clay, and nothing will ever change. I can sit on there for years, and it won't. It's not going to lose anything. It's not going to lose any texture, or it'll warm up. It'll still carve really nice. It'll never go bad on the armature. So my point is, you have your eye holes all lined up, your mouth is lined up, your nose is where it's supposed to be, your ear holes are where they're supposed to be, if you put the clay on your armature correctly. Now I did, and everything lines up just right. Now the thing is, I can retool this and make this into any creature and never have to reposition my eyes. I can just fill it in, make the eyes look, whatever I want to do. My mask is always going to be in line with where my eyes, nose, and mouth and ears are. And there's no reason to take the clay completely off this armature. Never. I leave it on there forever, and then I just reshape it. Like once I'm done the Michael Myers thing and say I want to make a scarecrow mask, well, I can just pack it out in different areas and make it, take away, add anywhere I want, as long as I don't change the position of the mouth, ears, and eyes. You've got a mask, you've got a sculpture that will keep giving you a great mask. Now, when you demold, every once in a while, especially underneath of the neck area, right in here, sometimes the stone gets stuck up underneath it there and it stays there, which is fine because I'll never have to carve, and I don't use this region ever. If anything, I'll bury it and I'll make a neckline for it. You know what I mean? I don't need to add. I don't need to take the clay off of here. So I'll demold it. Whatever little damage happens to the mask, I'll fix that and then move on to the H40. Then I'll demold that when I'm done the H40. Then I'll do the kills, and then I don't need to do the ends. Kills mask is going to be just changing the paint scheme from what I can see to give you an ends mask. But I am going to do my original concept of an ends mask based off the kills mask. I have an idea of what I want to do to it, so it'll be really cool looking. But at the same time, I also want to do a flashback mask. So when this is completely done, and because the flashback mask, the eye cuts are a little different, I have to literally change the way this feature looks. I think the cheek is a little different on the check mark cheek is a little different on the on the flashback mask. So I'm going to replicate the flashback mask as my final mask. That'll be the final Michael Myers mask that I do. And since I already have the flashback mouth, I'm not changing this. This mouth is going to be the same on all the masks, other than aged and, like in the kills mask, it's all burnt right in the corner here. I'll have that all marred up and burn up, and but it's not going to change the shape. The shape is going to stay the same in the mouth area. But the eyes will have to be changed to match the flashback mask. I think there's a little bit more of an indentation on the side of the head on the flashback. But then that's also depends on who wears it. So I don't know. I'm not going to go that far and really destroy the sculpture just that much. I do have to change the eye cuts and stuff though to match the flashback mask. But with that being said, yeah, this is a nice. So far, so good. We're really getting there. Now, oh yeah, I want to do the naps. I'm going to double check it again. I just want to look under there. I feel it. Everything feels good. one more kind of like rough scrape over everything. I'm barely touching this tool. I let the tool do the work and not me. I don't push. I'm not pushing on that tool. You know, people wonder why these masks are so expensive. You see the work. You see what goes into it. UK, do you use a crock pot? Yes, I do. As you said, you answered that one already. Okay. Naphtha time. Only this time, yeah, I'm going to use this. Yeah, that changed. That's, believe it or not, that really changed the way this mask looked a lot. Changing that chin just a little bit. You know what? I need to get under there. Need the glasses out of my way. More naphtha. Really softening this up underneath of here because there was a lot of carving done. So. It's going to be nice and smooth and uniform now. Wow, that looks really good. Okay, now that's a little too soft. I'm going to change brushes after I clean this. Actually, wait a minute, I want to wet an area here where I scraped a little bit. This is a stiffer brush. This is meant, I use the stiffer brush to move the clay so that the outer edge, it smooths it out really nice. All right, so we're done with that brush. Then I come back in. Where'd my other brush go? Okay, where'd you go? Hold on, gotta find that other brush, wherever I pushed it. Oh, there it is. Always. The other thing too is never use natural fiber brush hair brushes with naphtha because I think it destroys them. All right, back under. Now this takes out a lot of the lines by doing this. Right in here, I don't like the way that looks still, so I'm going to probably refinish that a little bit more. There's a little bulge right there too that I want to fix. See, by adding, by putting that naphtha on there, it takes the shine, best way to describe it, takes the shine away from the clay, and it allows you to see the detail a little bit better. You can see you can see where you've missed. You can see where the misses are. Right in here, I got some work to do. I can't do anything now because well, maybe I can do it with the brush. Okay, well, probably going to have to carve a little bit more in here, not much. Okay, just need a couple bumps that are there that are sticking out. Okay, so the chin's done. Now I got to start working on the ears. And that's not a big deal. The number one thing I want to do first is I want to smooth out. Let me keep this in my hand. I want to smooth out in here just a little bit. Always use your little round. I like the steel ball ones. I don't buy the plastic ones. And I have all different sizes, and that really helps you get into like areas that need shape and you can't get your fingers in there. Shaping tools. A little divot right in there. I gotta put a little tiny piece of clay in there. It's driving me nuts. I'm fighting with that for weeks. All right, when your fingers are too big, here's the best way to place a little crumb of clay. Use your dental tool. All right. Let me see. Can you see that little piece of clay on the end of that? There you go. Now I'm just going to take that little piece of clay and I'm going to stick it right where I want it. Alright, done with that tool. Now, you need to mash that in a little bit. That looks good. Hey, Angela. I think it's her. Now the rest of this can be smoothed out with, actually, I do want to take a little bit away. Make sure you get the cutting edge. Now let me look at this ear, especially in the back of the ear. Oh my God, yeah, I got work to do back there yet. Okay, so what do I want to do here? I definitely have to add more clay right in this one spot. Now what I'm trying to do with the back of the ear is make it flush with this outer edge of the ear. I want this to be completely flush and around, because what I intend to do is put the clay on the cover of the ear and around. You saw how I did that with the other molds. And it just is so much easier when you're demolding. If that ear is like tucked in, and when you go to push, because from here, this whole section slips back. It's when this part, when you're trying to push that off, man, it really destroys the ear big time. Now, by enforcing this and making this thick and making it flat, now I actually know why people make this back wall so flat, literally flat. It's because when they go to demold it, it's just this portion of the ear gets destroyed. This generalized shape doesn't really get too wrecked. You always have your same C-shaped ear on the sculpture. You don't lose that. All right, now I need And where'd that fly to? I'll give you a general idea. Oh, you can see what I'm doing. Okay, cool. You can see what I'm doing. Now this doesn't have to be perfect looking. You don't have to worry about making the back of the ear perfect, because hair goes behind all this. You don't see the back of this ear too well. I mean, I don't want to leave it look really goofy, by no means. And ears are not perfect, no matter what you do. Feel your own ear. Stick your finger in your ears. You'll be surprised how uneven and how crazy the shapes are inside your ear. It's just nuts. You know, that's where you can honestly say no two ears are alike on this planet. I can assure you, none of us have identical ears. Even twins, even identical twins, they have different ears. Really, piece of hair made it dig in. Yeah, did I get it? Yeah, there, I got it out of there. So, dirty clay, it's your worst enemy. I can't believe I'm doing the 78 again. That's all right, I didn't have to. Really? How interesting. Another hair. One good thing is when I demolded this here, man, not a speck of my design got damaged at all. Okay, so what I want to do is probably smooth out with my hand now. A little divot right in here. smooth any of that out. First thing I'm going to do, start making my ear clef. I call it the ear clef that goes right here. That's what I call it. Mashing up some clay, getting it nice and warm so it shapes easy. Alright, so what do we need to do? We need to make it and it smooths into the face. Okay. I'm shaping this mainly in my hand right now. Now in this situation, I need a picture. I need to look at my, okay. I'm going to see how I did that. Got to get the angles right. Sorry if I'm blocking your view, but I'm taking that piece and I'm putting it and slipping it in there. All right. Now right in here where these come together, I got to smooth that in a little bit better. But all I'm going to do is add a little piece right like that into the ear. The other thing I want to do is, oh, hold on. little hoop, tiny hoop. And now, I need the bigger hoop and clean this out. You know, if your clay hardens up too much where you can't really sculpt it too well with your fingers, invest in a heat gun. Now you're seeing the details that have to take place into making this ear look right. Pretty cool, huh? And use a little scooper, my little looper scooper. Just get in here. Oh, let me read your comment. Almost forgot my glasses were on my head. Pipe Master, way to go, bro. You're back on, cool. All right, so yeah, we're getting the job done here, Pipe Master. And this is, I was talking to these guys about how I like to listen to, collectors' points of view, especially when they have a really good eye. And Pipe Master definitely has a great eye for detail. So if you're trying to, if you're sculpting something and you want somebody's really good opinion on what you should or shouldn't do, or like say you're stuck in your sculpture and you're not really sure what to do, let Pipe Master take a look at your sculpt, because it can help you a lot. It really can. It's always nicer. It's a lot better to have a lot of eyes on your sculpture than just your own. To an extent, you can always tell when somebody doesn't have an eye. An artist knows, when somebody doesn't have an eye. But Pipe Master definitely has a good eye for the details. And I just think that it helped me a lot, believe it or not. He showed me a lot of things that he was actually one that actually talked me into doing the lips like this instead of making the wider lips. I was only going to make the wider lips. I never liked them. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the wider lips that are on this mask. I don't like the wider lips that are on this mask. I do like the Flashback Mask. But talking to him, plus looking at a couple of photographs, I definitely was convinced to go with the original Captain Kirk mask, because that I think is more like the Captain Kirk than that other thing that was there. Look at the difference. Look, yes, they're a little narrower, but that's what the Captain Kirk mask was. It wasn't real wide. They didn't have these big lips. They were small. So this is the photograph that really convinced me and Pipe Master to change my lips to this style right here. And that's it in a nutshell. So now, we fixed a lot of issues with the sculpture, big time, man. I mean, really. And he also is the one, you guys are lucky because he's the one that actually convinced me to retool this and remold it again. Because I was going to keep going on my 2018 and just say, the hell with it. But you know what? If you're right, you're right. This here, changing that lip line the way it looks now, has definitely improved this mask enough to justify a remold. And that's what I'm doing. So yes, it sets me back a little bit, but it's better to have a really nice, I think H1 ready to, for molding, and then you'll have your other mask will come out really, everything else will be just as good, if not, better if you like the ends and kills, or, not ends, 2018 and the kills mask, if you like that, and you love the original and you like my sculpture, you're going to get all that in the same exact sculpture. So that's what's important to me. I think that it has to be done. I got this side almost done. And then I'm going to do the other side. So if you guys are doing a mask or you're doing a sculpture, trust me, let Pipe Master take a look at it. Let him criticize you a little bit. It can help you. It's always nice to have constructive criticism. It really is, man. It's even, we were just talking about earlier today, Christopher Nelson was interviewed and revealed quite a bit. But I lost my train of thought. Senior moment. Christopher Nelson, he had a lot of eyes when he was sculpting it, and he only had a few weeks to do it, the Flashback Mask, and he didn't have a lot of time to do it, and they collaborated, all the artists, they all got together and they all specifically kind of honed in on the whole thing, and yeah, Christopher Nelson definitely sculpted it, but there was a lot of eyes on that sculpture. It wasn't just his own. Okay, I seen somebody post something. Hold on. Pipe Master needs to get some sculpting clay and sculpt some. He needs to do it. I'm telling you, with the eye for precision that he has, I don't think that he would have any problem. I really don't. I don't think he'd have any problem. I mean, there's learning curves everybody has to go through, but it really comes down to your eye. What's your best secret weapon? Your eye. Pipe Master would be fine. He would have some learning curves just like I did, just like everybody does. But I think he should get some clay, and I think he should do it. I really do. I encourage it. think that, you know, and I'll be the first one to point it out to you when you have an eye. Look, I've been an artist my whole life. Just because I'm new to the clay business doesn't mean I'm not. I've done a lot of seascapes. I've done a lot of, I've just never done human anatomy at all. And I've done relief carving, and I've done whittling with, like, I made a shark once, I made ducks, I've done a couple eagles. Were they great? Yeah, they were okay. They weren't great. Nothing's great. We're our worst own critics. I'll tell you, it's okay, and somebody else will say, no, man, it's the best thing I ever saw. No, that's not true, but because I've seen quite a few artists make some really cool stuff, and some are just amazing to me. So, you know, so when I see an artist that really just absolutely is stunning to me, it blows your mind. And you just never know. You never know. Pipe Master, you might be the greatest artist in the world and you just never tried. Don't ever, ever pass the opportunity up to never try something. If you have it, if you have an eye, go for it. Give it a try. I know you work a lot, but, you know, on your spare time, when you get home, I never work. I mean, I work a lot on here because I have the opportunity to spend a lot of time on this. But who cares whether it takes you 2 years to sculpt something? If you want to do a Michael Myers mask that you're really, really, really good at and familiar with, get to clay and jump in. There's enough videos out there to show you how to get through the process, that's for sure. I mean, now I'm one of those guys. You know, I can show you anything I can show you. I'll be glad to help you in any way. You just have to jump in and start doing it. Yeah, I think you should try Pipe Master. I really do. I'm encouraging that. Everybody, tell everybody on here, please tell Pipe Master to start to do a sculpture, to do a mask. It's funny when Nick, not everybody's a fan of Nick Mulpagano, but I am. When Nick Mulpagano said to me a while back, he says, you know, this thing's a lot harder than you're going to realize until you get your hands dirty. You really don't know. And was he 1,000% right? It's not. Just concentrating, guys. Anytime I get quiet like that, it's usually because I'm concentrating. Just remember that. And usually that's when I lose my train of thought. Whatever I'm talking about. But I encourage you, Pipe Master, definitely. You know what? Get the clay, and find a room someplace where you can, you know. And it also gives you a place to escape, just for an hour or two. You don't have to go crazy. There's no rush. Make this mask. It's your passion. You're obviously very passionate about this mask. Go for it, man. Go get some clay. Get an armature. You can get the armature for like $74. I saw it on eBay. The Ed Head armature. It's on eBay for $74 right now. Not eBay. I'm sorry. Amazon. It's on Amazon for 74 bucks. You get the armature. Now the clay gets a little expensive. Now I don't do wet clay. I don't like wet clay. I use monster clay only, and I like to use the hard because you can always demold it and you know, start it and save whatever you've done. So my recommendation: monster clay, and you want about, I want to say 5 to 6 tubs of 5 pounds of clay. Let me show you how it comes. All right, this is what's left out of 6 tubs. All right, this is the tub of clay that it comes in. This is monster clay. This is how it comes. This stuff is microwavable. The tub that it's in. This is a 5 pound, and I have hard. It says soft, medium, and hard. I have the hard stuff. It has the instructions on it and everything. But out of, it's either 5 or 6 tubs. This is all that's left. Everything that I have on here is like 5 or 6, 5.5 tubs of clay. And this stuff's about $40 per tub. So you have 5 of those. You're spending some money on good clay. But you never have to worry about it hardening. You never have to take it off your armature. There's so much benefit to having this clay versus wet clay. I'm not a wet clay fan, so just know that. There's just a ton of benefits to sticking with the wet or using monster clay versus wet clay. Now, I'm a big fan of Alan Hops, and he uses nothing but wet clay. But he's got a shop that he can get dirty in, which I really can't get too dirty in here because this is, I'm also, I got a sound editing and stuff like that I do in here. All right, so let's do this side. We got this ear to do. Now I got to fix this seam and fix all these little ripples that are in here that got damaged. But you know what's cool about when I demold this? When I had this seam in here and I had to demold it, and when I hammered away the mold, when I had to bang the mold away, and vice versa in the back of the neck, it scraped away anything that was causing a lock. So therefore, any kind of scrapes gives you an indication that you can't add more clay here. You just got to take it away a little bit, and that will give you a better release when you go to demold it. So when I do this, I don't ever I take away the clay on the neck. So this way when I go to demold this thing, it'll come apart real easy for me. I won't have no areas that, and believe me, it's not a real big I thought my lock was going to be from here forward. I didn't think it was going to be back here, but there was more of a lock back here than there was in the front. So that's pretty cool, finding that out. Yeah, it changes the clay. It changes the sculpture just a slight bit, but nothing that anybody would notice. Maybe Pipe Master would, but the average person's not going to know what I did here unless you see the video. But it's only actually to benefit me in the long run, because I don't want these areas where I get caught. It's hung up. Your dividing line is so important. Let me put that in here. And now I'm just reshaping this neck area just a little bit, and making sure that nothing can get caught up in here. Your dividing line has to be the extreme high point from both sides of this neck. Just like on the top of the head, your dividing line's right here, because from that point this way it goes down, and from that point that way it goes down. Your high point is where you need your dividing line for your sculpture. When you take your molds apart, if I were to put that dividing line up, or let's say back here, I put it back here, this area right here is going to keep me from being able to pull it forward. I'm blocking your view. Great. If I put the dividing line right here, that would cause a lock, and that'll keep me from being able to pull that front forward. If I put the dividing line back here or in the front further, it's going to create a dividing line right. If that dividing line was right here, this would create a lock. All right, and trying to pull the backside off, you got to find that high spot on your sculpture. And when you do demold it, and you do find some kind of place where it's locking, use it to your advantage. Make sure that you smooth that area out, so you don't have to worry about that locking in that area again. Don't add clay though. Don't add it. Don't add it to it. In other words, don't add anything in this area. Just carve away until it's nice and smooth. You know. Oh yeah. So Pipe Master's on here quite a bit with me. He's usually on. Yeah, listen to your collectors, man. The guys that are out there collecting these masks, and they believe me, they're going to spend a lot of money on their masks, and they are real keen on. And Crusher's on. Hey, Crusher. Pipe Master has been repeatedly asking you to post some pictures, and he did send me some pictures, Pipe Master, of him wearing the mask. He's having an issue with his camera or his one computer, so he hasn't been able to send me the video on, you know, what his thoughts are on the mask. You know, when he did a box opening. That's right. That's what it's called. He did a box opening on the mask, and for whatever reason, he's having some problems with the computer, so he can't send that to me. But he did send me some pictures, and he did remark saying he really loves his mask. But I need you to tell these people what you think of your mask. If you could, please text that on here. Let people know. The other thing too is I was talking to Pipe Master about this. Now I've never really sold anything on eBay, so my account shows no activity as far as sales go. So that's always been that's a little stickler there. That's going to be a little problem for me, I think, in selling that first couple of masks, you know, on eBay, so people can actually one watching. There's only one person on. Huh. All right, you guys are going to have to throw your comments up because it's only showing 2 people watching. It's really weird, man. A lot of fluctuation. I'm one of them. I'm watching too. Wait a minute, is this frozen? No, it isn't. Okay. I thought maybe it froze up on me again. I have the phone plugged in, so it's not going to die. tomorrow I'm going to try and mold this. I really want to get this done today. I want to get it done because I want to mold this tomorrow, and get moving. Hold on. There's a piece of here that's driving me crazy. I don't like it because it makes me dig into the mask more, or sculpt more. It's making me want it to. Okay. I don't want to put that back into my things. I felt a little stone inside of that, so I don't put that clay back into my little clay ball here. I don't want a dirty clay ball. Okay, so with that being said, there's a high spot right in here. This is falling on my head again. Gotta get the nose things. Gotta get the arms fixed or something. Something's not right. Time to shape my ear clef. I call it the ear clef. So who's still on with us here? Is Crusher still here? I need to know. There's only, it says 2 watching. I had 7 yesterday. I guess it's just, a lot of people are working and stuff now. So. Yeah, that's way too big. Now what I'm doing and how I'm shaping this is it's kind of like a, well, it's kind of like the shape of the ear in the back here, right at the top. It's almost like that. Because that sits in here like this. All right, and then we make that final shape. That's actually pretty dead on. I don't need this much clay at the end here. So, and I really smash this end, and this side stays thick. I smash this end real thin because it goes into the face. And I try to shape this like this. And now I'm going to place it. And I don't like the way that looks. Hold on. Gotta get that angle right. Okay. there's a piece of stone got in here. Alright, that looks a little too big for me, but that's no biggie. Now the weird thing is, this is the right side, and I don't like digging from this end in. I'm going to especially down in this area. Now, don't throw that into the clay because there's a big marble. There was literally a big piece of clay in there, or a big piece of stone in that. Now this side I did a little bit differently. That's just a different technique. But honestly, I don't like this as much as I thought I was. Because I don't like the way it flattened out in the back. I don't want a bunch of clay behind this clef. And I just made it a little bit more difficult for myself. To remove it. Damaged the ear a little bit right there. Thank you for the tool. Thanks to the tool, I have to say. Come on, get on there. Okay, so now I'm going to use the little tiny hoop tool that I have. I'm going to wait a minute, hold on, I forgot. Little loop tool. Alright. This is tough for this angle because I can't. Hey Angela, you want to go to the store a little later? Guess not. I don't know what the hell I did to her. Alright. Oh well. Can't win them all, huh? This side's driving me crazy because I don't like the way this is coming in. Huh, the hair. That looks a lot better. I'm just lightly scratching this.
Hey,
What up?
what's going on, man?
I'm just sculpting away, trying to get this damn thing done. I realign the chin.
Smooth as a baby's bottom.
Almost.
Hello, YouTube. Enjoying
Yeah, there's not
Mr.
a lot of people on today. was
Oh, you
I
got
put it as one watching. Isn't that what that says?
yeah, one.
I don't know who jumped on. I guess there's people. What time is it? Like 2:30 or something?
It's 3 o'clock.
Is it that late?
Yes, sir.
I gotta go take my medicine.
There's so I have 3 solid customers already for the video stuff, or audio stuff.
I told you. You know, it'll take off, especially if it's that good. The radio station's going to lose business.
I figured
And then on top
I'm only
of
going to
it,
be able to do so much.
I know.
I'm going to be able to do, because I was just working it out in my head, you know. What you said is like $300. I'm going to make it recurring every month for the business, but I think 300 is a bit much. I think 200 for just the straight.
Well, it depends on how long you got to put it. You know, if you're saying you're gonna have to work 8 hours on something, that's I'm sorry, that's a $300 job.
But what I'm saying is, what I want to try and do is I make it to where it's affordable for businesses. So this way, for instance, I want to make it like a passive income kind of a thing. So if they call me, they say, you know, I can offer one business commercial and then 4 special commercials or 3 special commercials throughout each month, or 2 special commercials.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you're really getting your value. I think 1 main commercial and 2 special commercials.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not putting yourself in a corner where you're look, when you go too cheap, what happens is one of 2 things. People think, okay, it can't be any good, or they think, no, what was the other? I'm just brain for it. Man, I'm just not with it. They either think you're not any good, or there was another. I forget, but either way, it's overpricing. Bottom line is, you almost have to raise your prices to regulate how much work you're getting. If you start getting like swamped, where you're doing 15 drops in a week, holy shit, you need to raise your prices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I would handle it. Start out low, and the more people that are coming at you, up the price. That's it. You got to slow that process down, because, like you said, like with this mask business, I'm only going to be able to do so many.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, I'm a one-man operator.
I'm trying to make it passive, so this way I can bring. If you make it passive, then you can bring more people on, you can bring more customers.
Yeah.
And then now you have a full social media advertisement agency, but it's for social media. Because I'm telling you right now, we're at the very beginning. Shorts and TikTok stuff, like short videos, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
And that's like I said to the one customer, you know who I'm talking about, doing a funny commercial. 30-second commercial, 40-second commercial. I got all the shit.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, you know what hole.
It's a no-brainer, but at the same time, stick to it, man. Keep pushing at it, because you just can't. If anything, like say, you got your main job. You know what I mean? But doing all these odd and end jobs, what really makes you happy? How much happier are you going to be just doing a little commercial for somebody and spending the time just doing the editing versus going out there and doing a light job? Especially when they're hemming and hawing about paying.
Listen, I like the whole idea of it being passive, and I can have somebody sign up, and this is my guarantee, this is what you're going to get. Yes, you want to do it. No, you don't want to do it. You can cancel at any time. So this way it's passive, regardless if they say to me, hey, do a special commercial, you're still getting that. I got to talk to my friend who draws up contracts and get a contract drawn up so people can, so what I don't want to do is get so backed up to where, oh, you owe me 5 commercials because I didn't do any split. Nah. You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, well, that is the name of the game. My thing is, with doing voiceover stuff, I don't mind doing some voiceover work for you, but I don't want to have to write the scripts.
No. I'll do all that. That's easy.
You know, I can do the voiceover stuff, but I just don't want to do. I don't want to have to get into the editing and all that part because I'm too busy with this. This is taking up all my time, and I'm not even back to work yet. So it's like, holy shit! I can't imagine going to
No,
work.
it would just be voice stuff, really. All the other stuff I would do
Yeah.
on the back end. But, you know, you have,
I mean, if you get swamped,
yeah, I
you start
figured
getting swamped with the
I'll do
work,
6.
you know.
I'll bring on six people, so 4 more people, and see how it goes. I'm gonna
See how it goes.
make the website and do some research and see what websites. I know Patreon does it, but I don't want to look cheesy. You follow me?
Yeah. The other thing that's real big, and I think it's going to get bigger. It's going to be like video advertisements. And why I say that is because now everybody's doing this stuff in their bars where they have their own. And if they can do a video advertisement where the staff's talking, like, hey, you know, like say at the Inlet, right? You get a bunch of your people together that work there, and they all talk about the place. And it's videography is what it is.
Sure.
And you can do a visual effects with it. You can do all kinds of stuff with that, and that goes not so much for TV advertisement. That goes for their own.
Yeah.
You know, they can advertise. Remember that idea I came up with years ago, where we were going to do customized commercials for inside the clubs, and they
Yeah.
just put it on their system.
Absolutely.
Same thing.
I got all the shit.
Same thing. Now you're doing videography, you know, and you come in, you write it, you know, you get let them write the script. Hell, they don't have, you just got to put it together, and you just go there and you just do the interviews, you know, and key questions. You know, what your specials, you know, that kind of thing. You know, whatever, what's going on, what's your upcoming season going to be all about. You know, that kind of shit. You know, just it's endless.
I know.
But it's also time consuming.
But
man.
that's the thing I want to avoid. This is what I want to do. I want it to be passive fucking income.
Sure.
This way,
Or
regardless of-
residuals, the actual best thing to get, but it's hard to get. Residual income means.
but if it's passive, people subscribe to it or sign up for it. They're guaranteed whatever. People would do it, especially people in business. They don't want to sit on Facebook and create a freaking ad.
No.
No way. They don't. Who wants to type?
I don't even want to do it myself.
Right. I don't want to do it, and I'm a content creator on Facebook. I hate it.
It ain't no fun, man.
I would rather do it for somebody else than my own self. Does that say a lot? I mean, like. 'cause
Well,
I
if
know
you're
that-
making money doing it, that's
Right.
a different thing. When you're just doing it for yourself, or it ain't fun. It's not like it's a fun project or anything. What the hell they do with that other ear is? Yeah, that's why I don't want to get into editing and all that stuff. I really don't want to. I know Cool Edit Pro. Okay, I always call it Cool Edit Pro. Adobe Audition 6. I know how to do all kinds of stuff in that. But when you start talking about video, that's a whole other animal. I don't know anything about it.
That's why you gotta know the right. You gotta know the right programs to use. Or not. I'd show you all that, but yeah.
I don't want to spend the time in learning.
You don't have to learn nothing.
Huh?
You don't have to learn nothing. I don't want to give away my secrets on camera.
No. Yeah, that's the thing about doing radio and DJing for so many years. He's also a disc jockey. And he just put together a really cool advertisement for a business, a local business here. And it's really, really awesome. The guy freaked out when he saw it. And I told him, you know, there's money to be made in that area. But I'm dedicated to what I'm doing here. I don't want to get into that too much. Piece of junk in the ear. comes out of there. Holy junk. Holy funky monkey. Created a little bit of a hole in my ear. But it's soft, I can fix that. Is there any reason why everybody jumped off of my my stream? Anybody there? I might as well end my stream because it doesn't seem like anybody's there. It says one viewing and that's me. I already know that. Alright, so we need one more hoop, and I think I'm going to end the stream. Okay. Alright, I gotta fix this little. Okay. I think we're going to call the stream a day. Anybody else on there want to say anything? I don't think there's anybody on but me. But I'm going to jump off of here. Thank you guys for watching. And we are getting close to the finish line. Yes, we are. It's looking good. It's looking good. Yeah, I just want to get this thing finished. I really do. Alright guys, I'm going to say peace. I'll catch you on the next stream. Give me a second here. I'm trying to fight with this thing. Yeah, there's only one watching. Okay.